It is funny how many people, because I mean, like, I feel like it's different with radio now. It's like there's so much social media and video and stuff. Like everyone knows what we look like, but back in the day, people didn't know what people on the radio looked like, and we get every time people see us for the first time, they're like, "You look nothing like what we thought."
I always get them. You're black.
Yes, he does get his.
I go, yeah. Okay.
I get people think I'm a large blonde chick, and I don't even know what you get.
That's what I get too.
Yeah. You get large blonde chick?
Yeah, a lot of people, when they just hear my radio voice.
It happens.
I think it's the drumming. When you hear him drumming, you're like, I think that's a large blonde.
Exactly. It is, though. I do kind of miss that, the old days of, like, you know, waking up, driving to school, listening to the morning show, and having no idea what the people look like. There is kind of...
It was my lure into radio. I really wanted to do it because it was theater of the mind.
Exactly.
I was always intrigued. People don't judge what you look like.
Totally.
I can just go at it and do different voices and stuff like that. That's what lured me into radio.
Yeah.
But it's not about me.
No,
it's about you guys.
It's about you guys.
How do you guys deal with it going out in public? Because people know what you look like. Do you have hats and sunglasses in your car ready to go at all
fake
times?
mustaches.
And masks.
Actually, if we're not together, we don't get noticed as much.
That is true.
Hardly at all, actually. So as long as I say, Josh, stay away from me.
You walk on the other side of the street, and we'll be good.
But if we're together, if we walk around together,
Then it's chaos.
It clues people in.
It's a guarantee that, it will. I just dye my hair bright red, try and get a little more attention.
Because drummers.
I need notice me.
What's going on? I feel like you see when you came in, I said, "How are you?" And you looked like, "Oof, I'm just exhausted." Is that from the promo for this album and this tour, or is it because you just welcomed another baby?
Well, this is like the first thing promo-wise we've done.
Okay.
And so, no, my exhaustion has nothing to do with promo. So I mean, not to be the dad guy, but
no, we want to be the dad guy.
Okay, I have 3 kids. And I just had a son a couple weeks ago, and I have 2 older daughters, and older, like 4, 2, and 0. And so, me coming to, into the city and working on some promo and playing a show, like that's kind of a vacation from what's going on at home right now. But we're having a good time.
Well, I'm the dad of the show, so I know you felt really something when you had.
So I should be looking over here.
You should. I've got all the advice. Just do what you're doing. That's just the key. Just be there, and it'll all come to you.
Let me ask you this: do you think that it goes by fast?
Yes.
Okay, because right now it feels like it's going very slow.
Let me forewarn you of something.
You have 3 under 4. That's high.
Especially with your boy. Get your hugs and kisses now.
Okay.
Get your hugs and kisses now, because they're gonna be Dad. They're not gonna want that at all.
Yeah.
Did you go for the boy? Like, were you like, we have 2 girls, let's try one more shot for the boy? Because I had friends that just did that, and I was like, you have to be okay if you have 3 girls, because that might happen.
I was actually very prepared to be the girl dad.
Okay.
I wanted actually a 3rd girl. I thought that I was like, I'm set. I got people to take care of me for the rest of my life. All the pros that come with having girls. And then when I found out it was a boy, I had this very weird feeling of, because I own some farmland around where I live.
Nice.
And I always thought maybe I would like develop it or whatever, sell it or whatever. And the first thing that came over me when I found out that I had a son was, I must keep my land.
I must keep my. And are you Uncle Josh?
Yeah.
Ish?
Yeah. It can be hit or miss. They're Josephs, so it can be a hard sell. But it's cool to watch Tyler as a dad, and it's cool to watch those little girls. Specifically, like, we'll be on the road and they'll FaceTime Tyler, and it's like. It's because we met when we're in our early 20s, and now seeing Tyler have kids that like miss him around the house and stuff. It's like, it's cool to see.
Yeah. Was it 1,500 people?
Yeah.
How did you pick which 1,500 people were going to get the secret promo letter?
We just picked the hottest ones.
Nice. That a boy.
Definitely send it to her.
Yeah. It's kind of, we set up a swipe left, right situation. So.
No, but where do you guys come up with this stuff? I mean, it's a very innovative sort of like, fun thing to do.
Yeah, I mean, Josh and I we're in charge of the nothing to something when it comes to the music. And obviously a lot of the stuff that goes on behind it, the story that's going on behind it, we're the ones that come up with that. But we also have a really awesome creative team that we've known for a really long time to help us. Like how do, sometimes I don't know how best to communicate and connect with the fans necessarily. I know how to communicate with them through music and through shows. But then after that, we're surrounded by a lot of really creative people that have helped us out. And one of which was the proponent of the letters being sent out to everyone and everything. So it was awesome.
And are you like regretting or pleased with, or not attempting? I mean, you succeeded with the videos. Do you do videos for every song? I feel like that is not something that people do.
Yeah.
So yes, we're almost there.
Okay.
We're almost there.
Are you like, why do we do this?
I can taste. It's funny. I told my manager before we started this this kind of whole thing. I was like, if this goes well, because I don't know if we're gonna take a big break after this or whatever. But I was like, if this goes really well, like maybe we'll let's hit it again afterwards. And that was before we started recording 14 music videos, and now I'm like, I don't know if my body can take it. My hips hurt.
Well, you said some of them are going to be, you're going to throw some money and effort behind, and some of them are going to be a little more low budget. So how do you make the decision what's going to be what?
Well, so actually I think we had 2 spans in 4 days we shot 5 videos, and then in another span was in 5 days. I think it was another 4, and then there was 3 or 4 that we lopped off that we spent more money on and spent more time on. But it was intense. I talked because it was a small crew. It was a couple of people on camera, a couple of people working with, helping us with, build the fire and put it out and make sure we don't, burn down the neighborhood, stuff like that. And
we make news.
We're still all active in the thread that we had back then, because it was just it was kind of like a summer camp type of experience with them. So yeah, it was amazing. We're excited for you guys.
Just speaking about the videos, this is your directorial debut.
Yeah,
right?
Josh Dunn directed our last music video for Backslide. Yep.
Which, yeah, that's cool. But Tyler,
what?
I mean, he's been directing, videos to some capacity since the beginning of our career. So everyone makes a big deal of it, but Tyler's the unsung.
I did ask him afterwards, like, you want to do it again? He goes, I don't want to do that one again.
It's you learn a lot, and sometimes I think like walking into a video shoot, with a director, you kind of take for granted the amount of like preparation and work and thought put into how the day is going to go, and the amount of time in between, because I don't know a ton about lenses and lens swaps, and so there's kind of this time accounted for that you're like, oh, I didn't know that this would take 30 minutes, and so it all worked out, but it's harder work than you would think.
It is, and lighting is so important,
Yeah.
and the weather.
Yeah,
you got to determine how the weather is,
especially in Columbus, Ohio.
Yeah.
We're at Morning Mashup on Instagram. 21 Pilots is with Stan, Nicole, and I. And speaking of Columbus, we mentioned it a few minutes ago. You guys are doing 3 shows in your hometown when you go out on the road. That's got to feel, that's really good, right?
It's got to feel good.
It is. It's enough shows for me to be like, you know what? I wonder if my landscapers want to go to a show.
Come on, throw them free tickets.
So I was like,
we can work something out. Yeah.
Well, do you do it different? Like when you go home like that and you have 3 shows, are you going to plan something special for each night?
Why do you say stuff like that?
Come on.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to put you on the spot. I'm sorry.
I would love to do that. I think that what we've learned as we've continued to do this is the more departments that are a part of a show, the harder it is to pivot stuff, to make changes. So we got a lighting department. There's an LED, the content that's on the screen department. Right. So for us to just change a song or move it around or whatever, it does take, it's a bit of a heavy lift. So we would have to be preparing for that now, even though we're talking, 5 months from now. So good idea.
Yes.
And I'll put it on my to-do list.
My to-do list. I'll have a million things. And obviously you're talking about the shows in your hometown, and I recently rewatched the video where you, Josh, and Debbie invited cameras into your home to look at the whole house, which is honestly a piece of artwork. It is the coolest thing I've ever seen. And I just feel like if the whole directing thing isn't for you, I think you have like a career side hustle in interior design. That place is sick, man.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, it's a weird place, but it is kind of like, I don't know, when you give like big kids some space to play.
Yeah.
We didn't take it very seriously. And also I think I kind of just wanted a place that I didn't really have to leave. Yeah. So just kind of put everything, just like throw everything in there that I would want to do throughout the day. And whether it worked or not, but yeah, it's a weird place.
If you haven't seen it, something that they do have is a sculpture of The Rock, who we recently had on the show. Does he give you words of wisdom? Do you say a prayer to him each day?
I mean, pretty much, yeah. We'll kind of like rub his bald head before going to bed every night.
Yeah.
My brother's wife actually sculpted that, which is cool.
I didn't know there were sculptors still.
Yeah, she's one of the rare few. She's really talented. And that's what we wanted.
Yeah, I know. I'm obsessed with it. It's awesome.
Right. Speaking of wives, remember when your wife came here with you?
Yeah,
right?
you always have fans cheering you on, even when you're not here, guys.
You guys have been so generous and supportive of them from day one. Thank you.
Yeah,
thank you for saying
that.
that.
No, you have, and I'm trying to keep kind of in my lane, and he stays in his. But yeah, thank you guys. Truly, I have always thought they were going to be the biggest band in the world. So it's cool when people like make that happen, and it was you guys.
She was like gushing. She was so cute. She was just gushing about you guys.
So sweet. She's here today.
I've never had
Debbie's
voice is so deep inside my head.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want that.
Did you feel like, oh my gosh, is she here?
Well, that's what I live with.
Welcome to his world.
Every day.
Can I just say thank you to both of you really quick for Ned's Cozy Fireplace?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I was showing Nicole before you guys came in. She didn't see it, but 10 hours of just sort of like relaxing 21 Pilots.
Yeah, I think some of my favorite videos on YouTube are just like the 10-hour, 7-hour, whether it's like just like a fake, cabin in the woods with like rain hitting the roof or whatever. I put a lot of hours onto YouTube on some of those types of videos for sure.
Do you need like that kind of audio to sleep? Like I really gotten addicted to listening to either like an ocean or just white noise when I sleep, and now just silence. I can't sleep in just silence.
Yeah, we have sound machines going in almost every room at this point. And I do have a thing though, and I don't know, maybe the science is still out on it, but a lot of these kids are growing up with these sound machines blasting really, really loud in their room because the idea is like if we can drown everything else out, maybe they'll fall asleep. I don't know, it's just in my gut. I feel like you shouldn't have it that loud, moms. Just bring it down a little bit because that's their ears like getting a workout in.
I'm guilty of that.
And my wife does it too.
I do it because we live in a New York City apartment, which is not very large, and I like to party, and they have to sleep. So while they sleep, we're gonna drown that hours party. But I agree with you. I know. Yes,
they could be listening to a party, or they could be listening to a rocket ship.
So it's really you're right. You're 1,000,000% right.
And got a chance to hear the album. My favorite so far is Midwest Indigo.
Oh, nice.
So good.
Thank you.
You guys do a great album. You could just sit there and go like, wow, and everything you think, that's pretty good. They ain't gonna outdo that. You didn't, then you do.
Oh, well,
the next song, then you do. And we've been with you since day one.
Yeah.
I love your shows too.
Thank you.
We need to go to one.
Yeah, let's
Can
do
we go to one?
I think we know a guy that might be able to help us.
Yeah, we know a guy. Maybe we know
Ask
a guy.
Tyler's landscaper.
So like how long does it take for you guys to get sick of a song? Like that obviously you like have huge hits and then there's songs that like
like one of ours you're saying?
Yeah, like if you're on stage and you're like I've sung this song 1,000,000 times, which you have to do because the fans sometimes want to hear those songs. Has there ever been a song where you're like I can't sing this again?
I think that I've never really understood because you hear these stories about artists that get sick of their own song.
Yes.
But man, when you start a song and you feel a room full of people all recognize that song together and get excited for it, that's hard to top.
Okay.
So I don't know. I think that
No, that makes me happy.
I don't know. I think that's kind of something that maybe artists it's cool to talk about.
Okay.
It's cool to have that angle about your own stuff.
Yeah.
And I just don't think we feel that way.
I like that.
Well, we love it.
Everyone who stops leaves a question for the next guest, so we get yours now.
The question from the rich and the famous.
Hey, it's Dua Lipa, and my question for you is, what color socks are you wearing today?
Tyler, you have pink socks on?
I don't. I think it's just white socks.
Why?
Yeah.
Yeah.
White socks.
Okay.
Sorry, Dua.
Mine are kind of
Josh.
like
Oh,
green
okay.
and
they're
they're
fun.
tie-dye. They're
It's like a tie-dye,
Tie-dye green.